And this is one template that I've created on my own, which
Hmm.
is the journey creation or the flow creation. I would say
Hmm.
the user flow creation. This is where we try and highlight the AI interventions
Hmm.
and automation possibilities, opportunities.
Hello and welcome everyone to another episode of Down and Dirty that's brought to you by Poocho, a research productivity tool to collect and analyze consumer conversations at scale. Today I have with me Priti Saini. Priti leads the UX practice and client engagements involving UX strategy, design, and user research for LEAP, which stands for Low Code Integration and Automation Practice at LTIMindtree. She also conducts design thinking and product roadmap workshops. She is passionate about creating user experiences that meet user and business requirements. Preeti, it is great to have you on the show.
Thank you so much, Tapsi. It's great to be on this podcast as well. It's great to talk to you.
Lovely. Thank you. Thank you. I'm looking forward to jumping right in. So, but first things first, UX leader, design leader, give me a sense of a day in your life. From the time you wake up till the time you go to bed, how do you spend your day?
Yeah, as you rightly said, there are a lot of things packed up in that day, and so it's quite hectic.
I can imagine.
So, yeah, a peak in my day, I start off at 6:30 a.m. in the morning and usually start off with my household responsibilities, by a quick prayer and then taking care of myself by working out in the gym and then coming back, um, make ensuring that everything is in order, leave for office by around 8:39. And then by the time I, cover all my daily calls and then the meetings and everything, it's lunchtime.
Hmm.
And then there are client meetings. So usually a day, in office covers all meetings, workshops, and then sometimes brainstorming sessions with the team,
Hmm.
or sometimes, trying to understand if there's a new opportunity. So brainstorming on that. So that goes on, and then I leave for home around 5:30, 5:45,
Hmm.
and pick up my daughter. Um, and then take a break of around an hour or so and then get back to work, and then work continues till 9 sometimes, and then yeah, that's the end of the day. That's the working day. And then of course I retire. I end up my day by around 11 o'clock or so, and
Hmm.
then yeah, time for the next day to start.
Why is there a break in? I know you said you had to pick up your daughter, but are you
Break of
taking?
1 hour. Yeah.
Yeah, but are you taking calls with people outside India? Is that why you're working,
Yes.
up till 9? Okay, okay, that makes
Yes, yes.
sense. So later hours
So
are.
yeah, because I'm at a position where I need to connect with leaders who are probably or clients who are outside India, probably US based, Europe
Yeah,
based, and that's why I think just for that overlap between the two time zones, it's a
yeah,
convenient time
yeah.
to connect at
Oh,
that.
that's
Yeah,
a long work day.
yeah. So yeah, on an average, yeah, this is how it looks like, and sometimes yeah, on good days, I do get to wrap up at 5:30. So
Okay,
yeah.
that's good. So tell me, in the day, so it seems like a lot of your time is spent on meetings and either team meetings or client meetings,
Yes.
brainstorming. So lots of group stuff is what I'm hearing, whether it's workshops and all that. Where in the day or in the week do you get thinking time, like alone time to do, things that you need to do, either design or ideation, anything like that?
Yeah, I think I need to, schedule some time for that because I'm, responsible for a lot of things out here, Tapsi.
Yeah.
So there are teams that I need to manage, and then there are proposals, and then there are workshops and all. So, and there are some solutions also that we develop, some quick POCs that we need to develop.
Mm.
So most of the time, the research that goes behind it or
Mm.
the prep work that goes behind it, I need to schedule time for that. And then there is some time that I schedule on Fridays so that,
Mm.
I do my own learning, my own
Yeah.
updates. And so I guess it goes just to answer you in a short uh, manner,
Yeah.
I probably have all this learning going on when my work is going on. It's like simultaneously happening. And I really, if I have to dedicate time for that, this happens mostly on Fridays, where I dedicate my learnings or my learning hour for getting to know the new stuff that's happening around. Also, I on the go, during the week, I do go through a lot of these articles written by our UX gurus. Nielsen Norman is there, and there are other gurus who are there. So I do read up their stuff. Um, so I have an active feed list that keeps
Yeah.
giving me
Yeah.
all those posts that all the gurus keep posting about. So that feeds me the updates, what's happening in AI, what's happening in UX. So I
Right.
get, I update myself through that.
That's great. So what got you into design? Like, was this something that you always knew you wanted to do? Or I feel like design is having its moment. Like it's been, like what, last 10 years maybe, where like there's like design. Again, I'm not from the design world, but this is my sense of, the charcha around design. Did you always know you wanted to get into product design? How did that happen?
So not product design per se, but yes, design.
Mm,
So I was very creative right from the start. I guess my mom identified that talent
mm,
in me. And she did tell me to go for commercial arts. And along, with 10th, I also did my textile designing. And over a period of time, I realized that I'm really good in designing abstract. And also, she advised me to go ahead in that. And then I did my economics and then my majors in art and painting all along the way. And throughout the way, I knew that I do have a creative side plus the
mm.
logical side, so
Nice.
I can combine both and probably,
Yeah.
present design in a way that it is making sense
Yeah.
rather than going completely um, abstract. So I guess in school you feel that whoever is a designer is a
Yeah.
person who's just creative, who probably does not know
Right.
how to do business.
Mm.
But that's not true. Design is actually doing business the right way, because design is nothing but solving a problem the right way,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? So that it helps you, everybody, whoever is using that particular product or solution or
Yeah.
anything. So this thing comes much later on, but initially when I was studying, yes, design was my forte. And then over a period of time, I also realized, being a Marwadi, I'm also good in business.
Yeah. Marwadi speaking to a Sindhi. I fully appreciate it. You saying that.
So yeah, I I can completely agree to that. Yes.
Yeah, that's great because I even appreciate the fact that in your description, in your bio, it is user and business requirements, and I feel really strongly about this. I feel this with research as well, but I can see the correlation also with design is when you get so technical and you have such
Yeah.
technical expertise in one thing to be able to translate that into business outcomes, because at the end of the day you're being hired for and you have to deliver
Yes.
for business. So
Exactly. Is your design helping business? If not,
yeah,
then
right.
no, because in the start, I remember, Tapsi, we were taught to be creative. Now,
Yeah.
when you are creative, it does not mean that you do all sorts of things on the screen, which will get the developers into a fit of face, because they will be like, I can't develop this, sorry. And then the client will be like, how is this helping solve my business problem? How
Yes,
is this
correct.
going to earn me money?
Yes.
So those were the questions that we were exposed to right from the start as
Yeah.
designers,
Mm.
right? Because I started working for an agency who used to create all these portals, and this is early 2000s.
Ah.
So we were not really working for just creating creative design.
Mm,
I have
mm, mm.
nothing against creativity, because I myself am creative.
Yeah.
My creativity stems from the fact that how can you make things work
Yeah.
within the limitations that you have,
Correct.
yet solving problems.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of thing I was exposed to right from the start, and I really used to get a kick out of it. So I feel I get a lot of happiness if
Yeah.
whatever I design as a solution, even if it's just a screen, is it helping the person? Is it making his day, her day better? Is it making them more productive? Is it saving money? Then if
Yeah.
I get these stats, then I really get a kick out of it.
Yeah. And
That
wouldn't you say, Preeti, that you have been able to get to your position where you're at with LTI because of this sensibility and because of honing this skill? Uh, I guess where I'm coming from is for anyone who's watching this who wants to get to the level that you're at.
yeah, I
It's
think yes,
important for both,
partly
right?
yes, partly yes. Because I used to get a lot of these comments from clients that we've not met a lot of design leaders who understand business that well,
Mm. Mm.
who probably are, very good in providing strategies and all, but
Mhm.
are these strategies really helping business? Are they really helping solve problems? They used to have a technical person or a salesperson
Mm.
along with them to present these ideas. So I feel that if you work like an entrepreneur, even if it's your idea, if you are trying to sell that idea, you would need to have all these aspects into that idea as to how is it going to really help the business? How is it going to earn money?
Yeah.
So if you consider all of this, even if you're a designer, you can probably sell your idea much better than just by showing it how good it looks or how easy it would be to the user. You need to add that business layer also upon
Makes
it.
sense. Yeah, you have to
And
speak their language.
yeah. And even though I have not learned commerce, but I know on the way in my journey, I've learned numbers. I've
Mm.
had great mentors. Even now in LTIMindtree, all my managers are really helpful in teaching me how to calculate things and all. Even, at a higher level, you need to learn how to create the best pat, best margin, and all of these numbers, right? If you take interest and learn this, you will get an edge. Yes.
Mm. Got it. Okay,
Because
solid.
you just can't say that I am a designer, and just because I'm a designer,
Yeah.
I don't understand this and I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
It will not help because eventually you would have to, right? Show that
Yeah.
value to your customer,
Correct.
client.
Yeah. Either you or someone else will. You'd rather learn it yourself and do it yourself.
Yeah.
Or there's going to be someone else making the case for you and what you've
Exactly.
designed. So, so this is your strength. This is your superpower. The ability to combine design with business acumen. What would you say are some challenges or limitations or things that are, that you're not strong at in the space in which you operate? Is there anything like that?
Um, there are some things when you don't know about it, you need to learn. So I think that
Yeah.
would be, where you are spending time to learn about it.
Yeah.
But I feel that if I spend more time in learning it, then there is no challenge to me.
There's no challenge.
I take
That's
up
true.
challenges where I would like to solve those challenges. So
Yeah.
that's again a kind of a motivating factor for me.
Right.
So there are challenges, I would say, yes, but I wouldn't consider them to be challenges that last long for me. So
Right.
I tend to have that attitude of learning more and then facing those challenges with respect to technology because technology is something that is fast growing. Every 2, 3 months, you have a
Yeah.
new platform, you have a new technology, you have limitations in that. You have to
Yeah.
learn those limitations. By the time you learn, you start, playing around with it, and then there's a new one.
Yeah. Right. And now, I mean, since ChatGPT has come, since AI, Gen AI has been unleashed on the world, I mean, that's, I mean, there is no end to it. So,
So those are interesting challenges to, face. I would not say that's a limitation,
yeah,
but yeah, you would have to be on your toes. That's
correct, correct.
would
Makes
always,
sense.
if you're in this field in IT anyways, right? You're
Correct.
always on your toes.
Yeah.
So if you call it as a challenge, yes, but if it's like a challenge that motivates you
Yeah.
and keeps you running
Yeah.
from one point to the other and then achieving more success and more knowledge, then yeah, I guess I would love those to come by every time.
So tell me, during the course of the day, this day where you're doing meetings and workshops and also ideation and group calls, what are what are some of the apps or platforms or tools that you are touching on a regular basis? Even those things that you might take for granted. In the entire universe. So don't hold
Yeah.
back. Like, what all do
Yeah,
you
yeah.
touch?
So I use a Mac. So I use Notes a lot because that helps me organize my notes. I really love it. Earlier, I used to use the Microsoft Notes.
Hmm.
That's also really good, but this is much, much more easier and user-friendly to me. I get to segregate and I keep adding images and then my screenshots and whatnot, my thoughts as well. So it keeps me up to speed. If there's a thread that somebody picks up and, okay, this was happening on this project or this proposal or this POC, I'm up to date. So
Hmm.
I don't use a pen and a diary that often now because I use this.
Interesting.
And then after that, there are these Microsoft tools, the Outlook, the Teams that I use a lot.
Hmm.
I have them on my phone as well so that I don't miss out on anything while I'm on the go. Because, between home and office, there are a lot of other things I need to take care of. So, yeah, I'm always updated because of that. And after that, the tools that I use to brainstorm, to collaborate, they are Miro. Then there is Figma. Earlier it was XD, but now it's Miro, more of Miro Figma. XD is dying a slow death.
Hmm.
So because
Ouch.
of that, I do really miss XD a lot. But yeah, it's Miro and Figma for now. And then there is PowerPoint, and there are a lot of other freebies that you get. Sometimes we're using that, sometimes we're not. But on an average, I think majorly we use more of Miro and Figma. Yes,
What do you use for communication within your team?
that's
Teams.
Teams. Yes.
That's all teams.
Yeah.
And okay. And do you guys use any task management, project management software for your?
Um, I guess we don't do that much because now Teams would give you, it has Copilot, right? So it would distribute the task after a meeting is done on its own. So you don't even have to take notes. So
Right.
after the meeting is done, it will allow you to summarize the meeting.
Yeah.
It will allow you to write down, it summarizes the tasks assigned to people.
Wow. Okay.
Yes, and it can be sent out as an email as well.
Oh, I didn't. I haven't used Copilot to that extent. Okay, I didn't realize it also assigns tasks, which is amazing.
Yes,
So
they can
okay,
do
so
that.
it's doing your yeah.
And for other things, I think we use our Teams chat and there's Jira as well. But Jira is a licensed software as well. So we don't use it unless there's a project.
Got it.
So
Got it.
yeah, for
Okay.
within the team, within the design team, I think Teams works really well.
Teams
And
works well.
yeah, it
Perfect.
does.
So which of these, these various tools that you've mentioned are we going to talk about today?
Yeah, we're going to talk about Miro and
Okay.
Figma because I use that a lot. So
Okay.
let me give you a sneak review
Yeah,
of
that'd be
the
great.
kind of work
So
I do.
yeah, and also yeah, if you could just give us some context about in what capacity does Miro come in?
Okay, sure. I'll do that. So Miro, just let me know if you're able to see my screen.
There we go. Yes, I can see it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So
Ah.
these are some of the things that, I do
Wow.
on Miro, where if I have to say, even explain what I'm going to do in a workshop with my
Hmm.
clients or with my associates. So suppose if internally we have to create an outline of the workshop, say it's a workshop of 3 days, what are we going to do each day? And if I have to explain these are some of the activities, which I usually outline them on a PPT slide. And then I take them through some of the activities, what I'm going to do. I usually draw it out on a Miro. So I, put down these templates that are available on Miro, and then say, okay, this is how I'm going to call out for a persona, or, hold an activity of, say, half an hour, 45 minutes.
Mm.
And then later, probably we'll create the flow together, and then this is the flow that this is a workshop activity that I've conducted, with the team. So
Mm.
we usually do it together. So I give access to Miro to the team members.
Mm.
And then, I call out certain people from the group and
Mm.
then say that, okay, now let's create groups. And then if there are a lot of people and one of them is given access, and then they all work together and then
Oh.
put up stuff on the same board so that we all are working together. So this is happening where, sometimes the teams are remote. We are
Mm.
not really actually conducting a workshop in person. If it's
Mm.
happening in the same room, even then I've noticed that, um, taking this down on a digital format helps you identify certain things and collaborate much more, easily with each
Mm.
other. And that is after the meeting is done, then okay, yes, this is there
Mm.
already on the board in a digital format. We can quickly take it and pass it on to the other team members.
Mm.
So this becomes very, very effective in collaborating faster. So
Got it.
we use this tool to collaboratively work on personas, create journeys, create challenges, pain points, do the priority mapping. So some of the templates are already there. You
Mm.
just need to take the template and start working on it. And it is so user friendly that people who have not used it
Mm.
also can adapt, on it and then start working on it within a few minutes. You just have to tell them these are the tools out here. You will get, you know, these tools out here to work on it. And then, so currently, this is just a view only mode.
Mm.
That's why otherwise you get a complete toolbar out here.
Mm.
And then you can easily, and let me just show you the new one that I've opened. So this is the kind of toolbar that you get. And all
Right.
you need to do is just pull out a template. Say, suppose I want to do a roadmap planning, right?
What are some templates that you regularly rely on that you like from Miro? Are there any of those?
Yes, let me show you that. So I majorly use the persona template. Then I use a lot of these ideation and brainstorming templates.
So which ones do you find helpful? Like if someone wanted to, try Miro to do something similar, which one is there any that you particularly like?
Yeah, the storyboarding template.
Hmm. Okay.
Let me just show you how it's done. Okay, so this is the entire timeline. By when do you want to, this is the roadmap planning. Sorry, wait. This is the storyboarding template. So you can actually create something out here and then write down the use case. Who's doing, where is it happening, what
Hmm.
is happening as a result. And then you tag one screen to the other, or probably one step in a journey to the other using this particular storyboarding template. It's really helpful initially when you just want to understand what the problem statement is, or where
That's
the
right.
problem is in the journey, or just carve out the entire journey out.
Yeah. Okay.
So I use this for the initial phase,
Yeah.
and then I tend to also create a version out of it. So my own version, which I showed out here, where I had probably created
Ah,
something, because there were a lot of these phases in that particular journey.
got it.
And
So the
then,
storyboard is one, and you have just storyboard was one. You have the persona template is another.
yes, and then this
The
roadmap
roadmap
planning. Yes,
planning is something that you is any other
yes,
template? I'm just trying to give people some resources if there are things that you've
sure.
tried and tested and like.
This is the
If there
customer
are
journey mapping template also that I use.
acha, okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's pretty comprehensive.
Yeah, so this combines everything. This has the persona, yeah, and the journey mapping, step by step
Ah,
kind of thing. This is if there is a digital journey that is already present.
That's
or
right.
there is no digital journey which is present. There's something offline that's happening. So yeah,
Got it. Got it.
because
Okay.
it outlines the touch points, the emotions, the pain points,
Yeah.
backstage, everything. It's a
Yeah. I
very
mean, a
nice
great starting off
project.
point for anybody who wants. Correct. Correct. And this is what you modified. So sorry. Now we can go back to your tab. So this is where you take this and then you can make it your own depending on what your project
Yes,
you're working on and the need of the hour is. Yeah.
yes. So I start off with this first to get an idea as to what they're talking about.
Yeah.
And then once I get an idea as to this is what, then I start using this and then I modify this.
Got it.
And then the
Okay.
last thing that I use is the roadmap planning once we have the list of the features and everything. And what Miro also does is it helps you to summarize your research as well.
With AI now.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Figma also does that. So yeah.
Right.
And this is one template that I've created on my own, which is the journey creation or the flow creation. I would say the user flow creation. This is where we try and highlight the AI interventions and automation possibilities, opportunities. So,
Got
for
it.
example, the green ones, the ones highlighted with green, they are probably also, there is a possibility to automate these flows.
Got
And
it.
this
Got
is
it.
not necessarily a screen flow. These are just the flow, the business process flow.
Got it.
Is also
Understood.
something that we work on. And it does not really align with what a UX designer would do in a user flow. That is the screen flow. This is something.
Correct. Correct.
This would also have the touch points with the backend, with the database, the platform, everything.
How long did it take you in Miro to create this template? In terms of the creation, like not the ideation stage, but for usefulness of the platform, how how long did it take
So
you?
I probably just took half an hour to create this entire thing.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's that simple and it's
It's that
very easy.
simple. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
And this is
because you already have something, then you can, if you start customizing it, it becomes even more simple.
yeah, correct. So let me take a step back. So
Yeah.
you run workshops, right, with clients. So
Yes.
give me a sense of, give me a use case of a workshop that I mean, you showed us some templates where, let's say, you're trying to understand the problem statement.
Right.
So if you're running that problem statement workshop, how does Miro fit into that? So you've decided, okay, I need to do a workshop where I bring all the stakeholders together so we can talk about and brainstorm what are the problem areas, and then we can go act on it in the form of a roadmap, at least in terms of next steps.
Yes. Yes.
So when you decide to run the workshop, you come into Miro, and then what happens?
So usually we don't really get into that stage immediately, Tapsi. We when we are running a workshop, we usually have the agenda
Yeah.
outlined. And I use Miro to explain what we're going to do to the internal team. Say, suppose now the client workshop has started. So the first thing that we do is we first enlighten them that this is what we are going to do. These are the templates. And per activity, then we take them through as this is what we are going to do. Say, for example, the persona. So we're going to understand the persona. We give you 45 minutes. Let us talk about the demographics. And then I give access to the stakeholders. And then sometimes they enter the details themselves because they have the access to the Miro
Right,
board.
right, right.
Or sometimes they speak out and I'm the one who is adding this onto the screen, which is projected.
So just clarify for me in the IBM workshop, if we go to the other tab, so you had your personas one. So when you invite people,
Yeah.
can anybody come into a team without being part of your account? Like if you know, because these are stakeholders who may or may not have Miro themselves.
Yes. So just by, I think, giving them access, they can register and they can start
They
using
can
it.
start filling. Okay, all right,
Yeah.
okay. So it becomes easy for them to join your design and
Yes.
start contributing to it live
Yes.
if they want to, or you can do it for them.
Yes. Yes.
Okay,
That's how it
so
happens.
so one is the obviously the share or the collaborate feature is what you use a lot because you want to bring people in. And what about the timer, the AI features, the chat? Do you use any of the other things beyond Miro is meant to be an open whiteboard, right? Where you can do all sorts of, I mean, a posted board almost.
Yes.
Are there any other things that you use to run a successful workshop? Like, are you timing this stuff, or are you recording this stuff, or are you using
Yeah, we
AI?
can record it. Yes, we can record it. We can also, use a recording to backtrack. But the main thing, I don't use a timer because we don't, restrict ourselves with the time. So I've not used a timer, but yes, there is a timer functionality out here which would allow people to enter, their comments or their
Yeah.
inputs till
Yeah,
that
yeah.
point of
I'm
time.
only interested in the stuff that you use, that you find
Yeah.
helpful. So you use the collaborate, you use templates, and you use obviously the basic, let's put a post-it and let's build, customize this. So use some
Yes.
elements to make it your
Yes.
own.
Yes.
But
So
that's
yeah.
all you,
Yeah.
huh.
Some of these facilitation tools and reactions, I use the reactions. I ask, my audience to sometimes give the reactions on
Yeah.
is A, what is nay, and all that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And voting is also something that I use. So suppose if they want to vote on a particular feature, then yes, I do ask them to vote on that as well.
Got it. So what were you using before Miro, Preeti?
So before Miro, I think Tapsi, I was doing it in person. I used to use the whiteboard more.
Yeah. So, but
So
since you moved online,
yeah.
so it's only been Miro, the
No,
tool.
it's FigJam as well. So I use FigJam as well,
Acha.
you know.
Okay.
But FigJam is not now what has happened since the last 2, 3 months. They have started charging for the number of people I allow to edit. So that's
Hmm.
why Miro has become my favorite now.
Ah, right.
So FigJam, if I'm allowing collaborators to come and edit or put in their
Hmm.
responses and all. So earlier it was free, but now it is chargeable.
Hmm.
So that's why FigJam now is more for all the licensed users that is within the team. If there are
Got it.
licensed users, then I use it within the team only to brainstorm and then create ideas.
Got it.
So
Got it.
yeah, that's how it is now.
So Miro and FigJam are the two software
Collaborating.
for
Yes. Tools
collaborations. Yeah.
for collaborations, for ideation, for
Hmm.
workshops. Yes.
Got it. Understood. ठीक है. And okay. So what about Miro is not very good? Like when it comes to workshopping, is there something that it's missing or that you would like it to have that it doesn't?
Yeah. So for example, now if I'm writing a note out here, I need
Yeah.
to know who's written this.
Huh.
So it does not give the name, but FigJam does.
Oh,
So it gives you
right.
the name of the person who's written that note. So that's something I feel that if it's possible, you know, that can happen. So it does give you the author name, but
Huh.
I guess it happens only if you ask for it.
Right, right, right. Okay, got it. Or it
By
doesn't show up
default,
in a hover state or something. It's not easily accessible unless you activate that feature.
yes.
Got it.
So
Okay.
that's one thing. Otherwise, I'm really happy with
Hmm.
Miro. I think it is serving the purpose of, having an online workshop or online um, collaborative ideation session.
Yeah.
It does help you in that greatly. I'm very happy with it.
Give me some examples of the types of workshops that you run. Like, what are the different types of topics that you tackle? Personas you already mentioned. We talked about
Yes.
journey, right? Journey mapping. Are there any other types of asks?
Yes, the identification of touch points in a process that are
Hmm.
no longer being used, and if you can automate it.
Oh, interesting. Wow,
Yeah,
that I
that's what
can
I,
see
I
that
was
being
trying to
useful.
explain with what we did for this IBM workshop.
Correct. Which parts can you correct? The green parts. Hmm.
Yes. So these blue areas actually.
Not the blue. Haha. Got
So
it.
this is not just limiting yourself to the screen or the physical touch points.
Yeah.
It is all back-end related or technology related. journey or flows as well.
Yeah.
So I get a lot of asks around that. Can you
Hmm.
automate this, or what can you do to make this more AI centric,
Hmm.
or how can you infuse AI? So
Yeah.
these are some of the asks that we get. Yes.
So you've done this elaborate chart and you've mapped out the touch points. Okay. And you've kind
Yes.
of highlighted in your blue boxes and your yellow boxes what can be done, what can't be done, right? In a flow like this. Then what happens? Then what do you do with this?
So this is
Where does it
not,
go after Miro?
yeah. So after Miro, what happens is that the technical teams come into the play. So this is not done solely by me. This is
Hmm.
because I am the facilitator. I allow everybody to, join the board, and then we brainstorm. Okay, this is possible. This is not possible. There's
Correct.
always a BA. There's always a technical architect. There's always the client
Hmm.
would, on the go say that, okay, this is fine. This seems good from
Yeah.
business point of
Yeah.
view. And so after this is done, then we list it down in a proper project management tool that these are the features. Say, for example, Jira, right? These are the new features. We do an elaboration exercise on that and then start working on it. So
Hmm.
that's how we start rolling out these AI features also, or the automation features. So
Got it.
UI takes a backseat. There's
Yeah.
nothing that is happening on the screen. This is all in the back.
All the
But
back
where
end.
does the UX designer contribute in creating this entire process map?
Ah, that is so interesting. So it's not like you're designing the front end for this. You're
Yes,
helping design the mental model behind or like the map,
exactly. Yes, because
right? Yeah.
what happens now with the interventions of AI coming in, Tapsi, a lot of these tasks are taken care of by AI, right? By Gen
Correct.
AI.
Yeah.
So you can't design anything for that, right? You have to design the flow. How is it going to run? And then
Right.
also comes into the plays the kind of communication that you want the user to get. So again, that is not the UI. You're just putting in
Right.
that communication channel. Where all can you, communicate, right? At
Yeah.
this juncture, where all can you communicate?
Yes. Another application of design. I mean, a very highly business relevant application of design
Right.
is at the
Exactly.
back end process level.
Right.
That's
Because
what
this
you're
these
saying.
are the
Right.
points where the user would feel more comfortable to have this
Correct.
same persona. It's just that
Correct.
now persona is not interacting with the screen. It is more with the technology and
Yeah.
the prompts coming in and the communication coming in terms of the notes and the tips
Got
and
it.
AI prompts.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Well, thanks for sharing your screen. I want to move ahead and I want to talk about Figma next because you mentioned that you also wanted to touch on Figma a little bit. So,
Yes.
how does Figma fit into this workflow from Miro?
So
From this
yes,
brainstorming. We don't
that's
need to do a share screen, Preeti, unless
okay.
you need it for this next part. Huh?
Okay,
Yes.
cool. So Tapsi, like I said, I use Miro more with clients now because of the pricing part, because the
Hmm.
license is, it's much more easier for us to collaborate without getting charged. And on
Miro. Yes, Miro. Yeah.
yes, Miro. But in FigJam, once the initial idea is laid out, and then we have the features ready, then we start taking it on Jira, and then we take it to the team who's going to take it forward.
Hmm.
Most of the times, one of the team members is already there, is part of the workshop, so they don't lose out on anything, right? If they're not there, then they still have access to these boards where they absorb everything, and then they start designing the user flows on Figma.
Hmm.
First, the user flows are created, then it is like decided, okay, these screens are going to be built on a particular technology, these other screens are going to be built on another technology, and that entire flow is created by the
Hmm.
designer. So the designer is just not limiting herself or himself in just designing the UI, just
Hmm.
creating the UI for Figma. It is
Hmm.
also understanding where is this going to be built on,
Correct.
right? So they
Yeah,
create that entire flow, and then it is being discussed with the entire team. And then each team member then takes on their tasks. Okay. If this is a screen, say, for example, going to be developed on React, or if this is a screen that is going to be developed later on from React, the data is going to go into Aspect. Or say from Aspect, it is going to go to Salesforce, or from Salesforce, it is going to go somewhere else, right? So these stakeholders, I would call them, these team stakeholders, then they take on their task, they complete it, then they again regroup and they say, okay, this is what I've done. It has to talk to your screen now. It has to talk to your technology now. Is it happening? This is the kind of collaboration that happens within the team to bring life to this entire solution.
Correct, correct. And so FigJam, you mentioned this briefly just some time back. FigJam you would use for internal brainstorming because you
Yes,
already have people on Figma, you're already paying for the license. So
exactly.
then it becomes handy. You're just switching a view, so to speak, and you can have your in the middle if you got to iron out some creases or do go back to
That's
the
true.
drawing
That's
board.
true. Yes.
That's okay. Okay, so that's how it's these two, Miro and FigJam, are where you're switching depending on where in the journey your team is
Yes.
with the idea and the process and the implementation.
Yes. So yes, so once the implementation has to start, it has to start from understanding the challenges, the personas, and then
Correct.
start creating the user flows, the taxonomy, the information architecture, and then the designing of the screens as per the technology it is supposed to be built on.
Correct, correct. Wow, this is like such a complex, huge process.
It is. I would like you to do a kind of a session, similar session with one of my designers, and then that will probably explain how complicated it becomes once they
Yeah.
start. I mean, sometimes even they're tearing their hair apart. Where are we supposed to be?
Yeah, I mean, this is and these are systems. I mean, you're operating at a at a much larger scale than, like you said, it's not UI and a single touch point that comes later on. Like that's like the
Exactly.
end of the process before which all this needs to happen. Okay, all right. Is there anything that you want to talk about regarding Miro or Figma that we haven't already covered?
I think we've covered everything, but yeah, the new features of Figma, they're pretty good. They pretty much save time because I think earlier there were a lot of hiccups using the framework or the auto layouts.
Yeah.
But now I think it's got much better with the new AI based features, and the responsive features have also gotten really well. You can
Right.
now easily create the responsive views than what it was. So that's also there. So overall, I think the collaboration and the execution time has gotten better. So
Got
I
it.
think, yeah, but I don't get to work on the execution or the implementation much. I'm more into the brainstorming part.
Correct.
The team does it and they're pretty much happy with it, with all
Yeah.
those new features that have come in.
Got it. So if FigJam solved its pricing model, then you won't need
Yeah,
Miro and you would just stick with
of
FigJam. But
course.
right now you need to do both.
Yes, I need to. Yeah, and it's pretty complicated also. So FigJam allows you to edit only if you are paying for it. And say suppose now the week-long workshop is done.
Yeah.
What about, the license? I
Right,
would
right.
probably have to have a ongoing stream of clients then, right? For those licenses that I just paid
Correct.
for the entire year, but used only by
Correct. And at an
using for a
enterprise
week.
level, you're not paying monthly, you're paying only annual, right?
Yes.
Wow, that's right. So you'll have to preempt at the start of the year possibly how many seats you're going to
Yes,
need.
exactly. And that's not used to happen earlier. That's not how it used to run. It used to not run like that earlier. So yeah, all of a
Yeah.
sudden with this new pricing models, so yeah,
Yeah. I
things
can
have
see how that
become.
would be a problem for outward collaboration, like external collaboration, because you
Yes,
can't control the numbers, you can't predict the numbers, right? You could have a great year and you could have a very slow year. And what do you do with your seats? As opposed to you are more in control of the size of your team, so you likely to
exactly.
know how many
So
designers would use Figma. That makes more sense. So
yes, you nailed it. I
yeah.
think
Yeah, that's a no. Well, clearly this is why you're using another tool. I mean, this is the
Yes.
reason why you're leaving one and going to the other one, because it solves your problem of what do I do with extra licenses. So okay, that is insightful, and for someone who's considering this, this is something that they should keep in mind with the restriction of Figma. So tell me, just if you could complete the sentence: Miro is great for people or designers who want to dash.
Collaborate.
Mm.
And work
No
on
brainer.
or hold workshops.
Got it. Okay. Last thing left, rapid fire. Are you
Okay.
ready? Okay.
Yeah.
Name one thing on your bucket list.
Travel to Norway for Northern Lights or Finland.
Nice. Well, it's coming up. I mean, you could go now. Which social media platform are you personally most active on?
Mm, LinkedIn and Insta.
Okay.
Yeah.
What comes to mind when I say happiness?
Sunshine.
Nice. Do you own a vehicle?
Yes.
What do you own?
I own a Volkswagen Tiguan, the top model. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. That was it, Preeti. This was amazing. Thank you so much for doing this. And it was as always. Every time we talk, I feel like we connect and we bond, and I feel like I would know another facet of your life now. And I appreciate you sharing it with me and everyone else who's going to be watching this.
Same here. It was great fun to share, my day in the life and also what I work on. It was great. It was a great conversation that we had, Tapsi. Thank you so much. And like always, it's lovely catching up with you and talking to you. And it's right, it's like, you know, keeping up with a friend. We've not spoken that often, but yes, it always feels like, oh, we just spoke yesterday.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel as well. Like every time we bump into each other or talk, I feel like we just had a conversation. So yeah, that's great as always.
Thank you so much for having me on this
Thank
podcast.
you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.